Alert.
Unprecedented fire weather is now gripping parts of the South Tasmania. We have 4 emergency warnings in place and over 5 watch and acts across the state. Another hot, dry, windy day ahead, and we even have the threat of dry lightning starting new storms. First, we're going to start off with the fire threat, and then we'll cover off, of course, the intense rainfall that is gripping northern parts of the country. 2 separate tropical lows. One is already a cyclone. I'll have more on that shortly. For the time being, let's start off with the fire threat across Tasmania. This is how the bushfire threat is looking right now. Now, we have 4 emergency warnings in place for fires burning across the state, and we have a dozen of other watch and acts in place, and advice level fires also burning. In terms of the emergency warnings, here's how they are looking. So we do have 4 for the Great Pine Tier Fire, the Central Plateau and the Lynch Hill Fire. Again, this fire started around 3 days ago and has already burnt over thousands of hectares of land. In terms of the watch and act alerts, we have 3 watch and act alerts in place at the Lynch Hill Fire, at the Tahoon and at the Great Pine Fire. So these fires are burning, and then we have those separate alerts in place for the town which is being impacted, and that is why we have over 5 watch and acts in place. In terms of the temperature, it is hot, it is windy and it is stormy. We are seeing a cold front pass over the state this morning. We've already had wind gusts of over 80 kilometres per hour at Lyonweenie, which is why we're not surprised here at Sky News Weather. We are already seeing those emergency warnings issue, and I'm sure more will come as the afternoon unfolds. In terms of the weather conditions at the Great Pine Tier Fire, 33 km/h wind gusts, not too bad at the time for the time being. The temperature is already warm, well above average on 24, and of course we have relative humidity of around 42%. Now, the rainfall isn't doing much to help these firefighters. Hopefully we don't see any thunderstorms moving through, again with that dry lightning aspect. Starting new fires in the region. In terms of the current temperature in the south, this is how it's looking in Melbourne. Now, stick with us here on Sky News Weather, because throughout the morning we'll be taking you live to the Tasmania Fire Services at the TFS headquarters in Hobart at 11 a.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. We'll be taking you live to a news conference for the latest details on all of the bushfires burning in Tasmania. Now, it is a scorcher if you are in the south. We are seeing unprecedented heat off the back of record-breaking heat in South Australia on Thursday. Melbourne, you were already sitting on 34 degrees at sunrise. This is how our current temperatures are looking already. Nearly hitting 40 degrees in Mildura. And of course, it is still the morning. Bendigo is sitting on 35 degrees as well. Hot, dry, gusty northerly winds are developing to the temperature forecast behind me indicates temperatures well above 40 degrees. That's shown by the dark red shading. A cool change will be moving through this afternoon and evening. By 4 p.m, we're predicting a cooler, gusty, squally southwesterly change. So when we say squally, we mean very windy. It's already gusty there with those northerlies developing. And of course, if any bushfires start, a wind direction change is hazardous. So we'll keep you posted here for the bushfire threat in Victoria as well. So Victoria, Tasmania, all eyes are on you today. Melbourne already sitting on 35. It's much cooler than what it was this time yesterday for you in Adelaide. You're sitting on 26. Hobart is sitting on 25. And in terms of the top end, well, we are seeing drenching rainfall. A flood watch has now been issued for you in Queensland for the northern tropics. Cairns has collected over 50 millimetres overnight, and we have a severe weather warning which has been issued for the Cape York Peninsula, as indicated behind me in the yellow, and that is for heavy rainfall. This tropical low pressure system is expected to develop into a tropical cyclone later on in the coming days. If it does, it'll be the 4th tropical cyclone this season, and it will be named Tropical Cyclone Savannah. Here's the tracking map. As you can see, flooding rainfall will be gripping the far Cape York Peninsula and the tropics over the course of the weekend.